Welcome to the Voices in Recovery podcast. Voices in Recovery is produced by Freedom's Path Recovery Society, a registered Canadian charity. If you enjoy the podcast, please consider a donation to Freedom's Path Recovery Society. All donations go directly to assisting Freedom's Path in providing their services free of charge and helps us keep the podcast going. We are grateful for any and all donations. This podcast discusses difficult topics such as childhood abuse, drug and alcohol use, sexuality and sexualized trauma, and more. If you are under the age of 18, please speak with your legal guardian prior to listening. The opinions expressed during the podcast are those of the individual and not those of Voices in Recovery or Freedom's Path or any other organization. Thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoyed this podcast.
This podcast is being recorded on the traditional land of the Blackfoot Confederacy. This consists of the Kainai, Piikani, Siksika, and the Blackfeet in the U.S. We acknowledge the Stoney Nakoda, which consists of the Bearspaw, Morley, and Chiniki. We acknowledge the Tsuut'ina Huardene and the Métis, Inuit, status and non-status from all of Turtle Island, and those who are visiting. We are all treaty people.
Recording in progress.
Yeah, it is. I got it. Thank you, robot voice.
No problem. Dave.
Dude, that was eerie.
Dave, what are you doing, Dave?
Nothing. Yeah, dude, it's been a couple of weeks since I've seen you.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so the meditations.
Yes.
So you've got 2 out there now.
Yes, I have.
Right.
And I am working on the other ones. I actually did take some video on the weekend that I was hoping to be able to use for someone, but I was just testing out my phone and the audio kind of shit. So I'm going to go back out there probably this weekend and just try to do some more video.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
if you don't feel satisfied with it, man, you can always snag pictures from my galleries.
True.
And just
I
use
think
those
I did
pictures.
that on the other ones too.
I believe you did. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's where I got the idea was from you. I'm pretty sure.
But yeah, no, I just, and I want to get them out. I mean, I do want to get them out. I know it's been a while, but yeah, it's a crazy year.
Dude, it's been nutty, dude. It's been nutty. So, I mean, I appreciate you just getting to them. I know, because I know how nutty your last couple of years have been, bro. So
yeah,
certainly it's not the most urgent things, you know?
Yeah.
So,
but I do want to get them out, and I number 2 was there, so I figured, well, I'll get that out, and then I just want to play around a little bit with the video, because I mean, I don't want to do just the same video for every single one of them. So
no, I appreciate that, man. You're an artist, dude. You're an artiste.
Sure.
Yeah, man. Totally.
Sounds good, man.
You are. So regardless of what medium you choose to use, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we were going to talk about meditation because we're doing these meditations, and we're about to, you're publishing them as often as you can. Now we've got, you said step 1 meditation and step 2.
Yep. And then I'm hoping this weekend to get step 3 out, that kind of thing. So, yeah.
That'd be cool, man. But again, like really, no rush. Like, I mean, that's the thing with you and I, man, we're both pretty much like that. It just is what it is, dude. And it will be what it needs to be. Right?
That's right. They'll come out when they're needed.
Yeah,
that's
man.
what I believe.
Totally. And when you're editing, you will like just cut out the stuff that is absolute gibberish if I start trailing off, and sure you will. Yeah. You'll edit it for sound bites is what you'll do.
I should just slow it down and make it sound really creepy.
Dude, I'm surprised you haven't done that kind of stuff to me yet. Like you've let me off pretty easy, man.
I have. I was actually, I have to admit, I started collecting a few oddball little clips here and there that I'm going to kind of put together into something nice for you for Christmas or something this year.
Oh, really? Well, this sounds interesting. I like it.
The meditations, I think, meditating is so valuable to me. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I've been sitting on them, but I definitely want to get them out so that other people can benefit from them, use them.
Well, and hopefully they are useful, right? Like that's the whole purpose of it. And it's also to, whoa, that light just like started blinding me there. Hey,
yeah, that got real bright.
Ooh. Yeah, because I know how valuable they are to you and to myself and to other
Yeah.
people that we know, right? Like just
Yeah.
how it can make the difference in continuing an awkward encounter or not, right?
Yeah.
Like
Well, and I think it's a nice compliment because we did all 12 steps on video series last year
mhm,
on the YouTube channel for anybody who
yep.
wants to check that out. So I think it'll be a nice compliment to that if people want to, watch the video, maybe meditate after and think
Mhm,
about it or whatever. So it'd be
yep.
just a nice compliment too, I think there.
I agree, man. I think, and we'll just have to do some more meditations as we move along too. Once we get
Absolutely.
these
Yeah.
12 step ones out, then we'll move on to some other ones because I know that's something that you want to do as well. So
Yeah. Yeah. And I
um,
do, I started putting some out and then because of the last 8 months to 12 months, it's
mhm,
just been insane. But I do want to start getting back to that and start doing
mhm.
meditations because I do think there's so many people get so much value out of it. And
Oh yeah,
I
man.
think you can meditate 10 times and maybe a few of them you're kind of like, but
Mhm.
those one or two even that you got that were really good,
Yeah.
it's worth it.
Well, and yeah, man, because I still listen to some meditations that I've listened to now since I started meditating,
Mm-hmm.
since I met John. So like some of the mantras and stuff are still there from those first few meditations, and because they're so simple, right, and beautiful,
Yeah.
and they're lasting, which is pretty neat.
Well, there's a guy, well, there's a bunch of people on TikTok, but there's one guy I follow on TikTok and basically he does 1 minute meditations with it, right? So
Mm-hmm.
he comes on and he's all smiling and quiet, his voice is very calming and
Mm-hmm.
he just says, okay, people are busy. We all don't have enough time, but you have the next minute. So let's just do this.
Mm-hmm.
And he just gets you to start doing a few little relaxed things like, drop the tongue off the roof of your mouth, relax your jaw. And then he's like, now just breathe. And then about the last 20 seconds, he goes, now look around and find something and like just pick something and really be grateful for that thing. And it's a great way to just kind of get out of your head during the day. At my previous job where it was very stressful, honestly, I would bring that guy up probably 3-4 times a day and just take that minute to just like breathe, like
Mm-hmm.
refocus
Yeah.
and let it all just kind of go away for at least 1 minute. And man, what a world of difference it makes.
Yeah, it does make a difference, man.
Yeah. So I think that's where I think it's so good. And I mean, even just 1 minute helps. So yeah, even if you don't do the whole meditation on YouTube, even if you sit down for the first 5 minutes of it,
Yeah,
great,
I agree. And it's like I like the 1 minute ones because they're accessible almost any time of the day,
Yeah,
right? Like
absolutely.
and some of the mantras that go along with those like 1 minute meditations are pretty like
Yeah,
pretty good. I'm just trying to find
absolutely.
the right word, but I guess I wish I could meditate. I wish I meditated more.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's just some times where I don't practice, like where I fall short of those things, right? Where I'm
Yeah.
trying to practice. Um, it's interesting when like you see other old habits come back and you're like, wait a second, man, I haven't seen that in a while. It's like I have not
Yeah.
looked at that defect of mine in a long time. But here it is, right?
Yeah.
Like the process of being human and
Yeah.
this being such an imperfect these practices are just imperfect, right? They're not, at least mine are. I can't
Oh yeah.
stress that enough, but life is so much better because of the meditation I do, right? Like,
Absolutely.
and honestly, the only time I think I don't meditate enough is when I lose my temper or like, because then I'm like, okay, maybe I need more practice.
Yeah.
Obviously, I know it's that not maybe it's obviously I need more practice, right?
Yeah.
Um, because that's not I mean, it's okay to get angry. Like anger is a thing. Like it's a
No,
part of. So far, it seems like it's a part of being human to some extent,
exactly. Yeah.
right? But I definitely want to practice my way to better responses in general,
Oh yeah.
right? Um,
Absolutely.
and specifically too, right? Like I just want to be practicing, I guess, all as often as possible with as
Yeah.
many people as are in my life. You know,
Absolutely. Yeah.
um, Yeah. Sometimes, like, do you notice that when you're around certain people, you'll just like some natural or seemingly natural bad habits just start to like come back up?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a few friends like from old high school days where like if I'm around those guys for 5 minutes,
Yeah.
I start like and you can see all of us actually just start to devolve into that 15-year-old partying high school kid where even the language you start using, you're like, why am I talking like this? Like it's just ridiculous. But yeah, I have a
Yeah.
few people where I just, as soon as you see a man, it's just boom,
Yeah.
you're back to that guy.
Yeah. It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like it happens with my brothers when the three of us are together. We start to devolve
Oh
pretty
yeah.
quickly
Yeah.
because it's a weird thing, man, because I swear it's almost like given the right opportunity. Well, look, in a hypothetical situation, given the right circumstances,
Yeah.
I can't stress this enough. It's hypothetical.
Right.
Given the right
Yeah.
circumstances, if the three of us were together long enough and somebody pissed us off bad enough, I have a feeling we're all three capable of murder together. Like, I totally do, man. I think,
Yeah.
and it would be an example of like three people not turning on each other, right? But like, just like stonewalling everyone after we commit the
That's
murder
what
and be
family's for, though.
right. That's right. That's what brothers are for, man.
That's right.
Um, that's hypothetical though. We would never do that. We
Right.
are
Yes.
law-abiding citizens, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank God for meditation, man, right? Because
Absolutely.
I mean,
Absolutely.
I don't know if I would get homicidal, but I would definitely get suicidal, right?
Yeah.
Like, because that's the go-to. And I just find the more breathing I do, the more the more I smile, I guess, is
Mhm.
like to equate it to something I heard from, I think it was Thich Nhat Hanh, and
Yeah.
he was talking about breathing in, smile, and something breathing out. I can't remember, but I made up something else. But it was cool because it had me smiling like a ding dong for probably every all day for a couple of days in a row, where I was just like, oh yeah, that's really cool, man. It
Yeah.
feels good to smile, right? Like,
Well, and it's amazing where if you just throw on a smile after five
yeah,
minutes, your day changes, you know?
well, it certainly can, man.
Yeah. And I think that's the same thing with meditation, like whether it's minute,
Mm,
15 minutes, an hour,
mhm.
whatever it is that you or whoever is doing it wants. It's just that time where it's like, if you can find that time to just be freaking quiet and just let it go, just for 5 minutes,
Yeah,
let it
yeah.
go. It just changes you, it changes your outlook. And I mean, I used it a lot. Like I've recently switched jobs, but that last job I had
Mhm,
was insane. I would
mhm,
never recommend working there to anybody,
mhm.
even people I don't like.
Yeah.
Um, but I use meditation a lot just to like calm down. Like just
Mhm.
even the 1 minute ones, that's where I
Yeah.
find them valuable because like somebody walks out and you just had this heated exchange or something, and you like you're in the like, no, we're going, like not physically, but like I am not done talking, right? You have that like
Yeah.
I'm right and you're wrong or whatever.
You're in the danger zone, man.
Yeah. And so like, just taking that minute to be like, no, I'm breathing. I'm just gonna breathe. And
Yeah.
at first it's really short, shallow, angry breaths. But after 30 seconds,
Mhm.
you naturally just let that go. And it
Yeah.
starts to be easier. Still angry, but now I don't
Mhm.
want to chase after the guy and scream at him, you know, or
and
react the
and
way
you
he wants
definitely
me.
don't want to dismember him.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely not.
Yeah, no, I didn't want to trip him or anything. No.
No, no, not at all. Not at all.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
you're
it
right,
changes
man.
things a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I think like I can't even remember what I was going to say there, but it was about like the ability just to even breathe, right? Like
Yeah.
and how vital that's been,
Yeah.
for me, especially over the last God, the last year or so has been pretty rough for me too, the
Yeah.
last couple of years.
Absolutely.
Um, although like I gotta be honest, man. I think I gotta say it's probably connected to the meditation, but obviously I have no like data on it. um, but like, reconnecting with Heather and becoming friends with her through everything has been, I don't know, man, it's a result of something, right? Because I don't look at any of it the same way that I did. And I don't mean that I don't look at it for not what it is. I look at it for what I think, what it appears to be, right? And I was just thinking, like, being able to be friends, or just to be able to like care about each other because we used to. Do you know what I mean? Like, like we were pretty close, man, for a long time.
Oh yeah.
And we had a lot of fun. And I think that's actually who we are. And when we were living together, like, for myself, I just speak for myself about it. It became more and more about who I wasn't. Right. And that's always been like probably an Achilles heel for me. But the meditation has, I don't know, it's changed my thinking. And I certainly didn't do it. It must be a result of the practice with whatever God creator is out there, or whatever it is. I'm not even going to like wager those words because, like, I mean, really, whatever it is, right?
Absolutely,
like I don't know. But it sure seems like there's something, something at work, because I don't know, man. I didn't see myself really getting past some of that stuff.
Well, and I think that's the interesting thing is, like, I'm sure it's not just the meditation, and in your case, you're working on a lot of things all the time at once, right? Your back, your mental health, your recovery, all those things. So, but I think all those things, it's those little tiny steps. So meditation is a little tiny step, and going to a meeting is, and then maybe your counselors, and maybe you had a good doctor's appointment for your back. So it's these things that just kind of build. And I think
I'm glad you added those things in. I'm sorry to interrupt you. Continue.
Oh, no worries. But I just think you really have to, like, for me, I have to realize that you have to put effort towards them. It's not just like, you can't just sit and like, okay, time will stop so I can meditate. So it's like, no, I have to force myself to find the time, just like I do to do anything else. Right. But the outcome is so worth it. Because and I find with these things personally, it's a very short period of time. If you start doing it as a habit, that you start seeing some pretty significant changes in yourself or your outlook on things, stuff like that. So
I agree, man. And I agree. The whole thing, like, if you add in the meditation with some exercise, add in the exercise and meditation with some, even just slight changes in diet, right? Or whatever it is the other hobbies are, like, those things are all important as well, right? And like you said, meetings. And I know that lately, well, I guess for the last year or two, for the most part, I've been going to way more meetings, right? So that's a part of it. I've been seeing my counselor / therapist more regularly, right? Doing more work in terms of recovery stuff, in terms of like on myself, and we're the only kind of work I can do, really. But the meditation is a huge part of that work, right? Like, it's a huge part of that. Because, and also prayer. I have to add that in there, because prayer is very important as well, right? However one prays. It's important for me, that's for sure. So.
Well, a few years ago, I think, getting to know people like yourself who basically spend their lives trying to help others heal and yourself heal. And I know, just getting to know people like that, like you start to just change. And I think these things help push that along and help you come to understand yourself a lot better in a lot of ways you didn't. But I used to think, like, I think when you're younger, you think health, somebody says health and you think, oh, got to work out, or you got to eat right.
Yeah.
You don't ever really think about like your spiritual health, your mental health, your financial health, your physical health. Like, there's many healths. And I think oftentimes we just ignore, or we get too busy to worry about, our own mental health and our own spiritual health. And
well, if we can't see it, man, it's not there. So
right.
Yeah.
So I just think it's important to take that time. And I think that's the great thing about meditation is it forces you to take well, it doesn't force you, but like when you decide to do it, it's a moment where you're not doing anything else. You're just focusing on that thing you wanted to focus on, whatever that was, or you just needed the time to be calm, like, and I think it's, it plays a big factor in a lot of healing, I think, for a lot of people.
I agree,
and a lot
man.
of spiritual healing as well, because a lot of, I find a lot of people that are spiritual, not necessarily religious of any denomination, but spiritual. A lot of them meditate. They might not meditate like the Tibetan monks do, or this group or that group, but they take a moment to just be quiet or calm or breathe, So I think it's really valuable. And I think it promotes, to me, it's kind of like it promotes all the other healths. So if you want to get physically healthier, you probably should meditate. It helps, and things like that. So,
dude, would you sweat with me, man? Would you go? Yeah. Cause I know a gentleman, and I won't mention his name and stuff like that on here, but, but I would, I was curious. I meant to ask you, cause see, to me, the last time I did that was incredible. Like the meditative component to it and what it lent in terms of prayer and meditation afterwards. Right. Like, including all in prayer, like all prayers, as opposed to just trying to find one prayer. Right. Like, so anyway, I just felt it was a really powerful experience. And, I would like to do that with you. Yeah. Sure.
I haven't been for like 2 years. So I'd definitely like to go for a sweat.
Yeah. It's been since before COVID for me. Right. Yeah.
Well, and I think that's the thing about, like, again, with like the spiritual ceremonies like that, it's like, it's not just going in the sweat lodge and sweating. It's the whole lead up. It's the whole attitude coming into it. It's, and it doesn't, and I guess it's not as formal and, grand as perhaps some ceremonies in a church or something.
Yeah.
But the thing that I like about it is it's not a ceremony for anybody else. It's a ceremony for you. So when you go in there, it's for you. You can say prayers for other people. That's cool. But like, it really is about your self-healing and coming to understand yourself better, or working on whatever it is is going on in your head. Right. Like, but it's a time where you can focus on you and, go through this process, this ceremony. And I find them incredibly valuable. I absolutely love them.
Right on, man. Yeah, me too. It's such an added element. It's like the fasting, right? Like, every element we can attach to our physical, spiritual, mental, emotional lives. Like, I have found a much richer experience, right?
Absolutely.
Like, in terms of relationships and everything else for that matter. Right.
Well, and when you think about it, I mean, all humans have been doing sweat lodges and fasting since humans have been humans. I mean, you have evidence of it in where the Sami people are up in northern,
Finland?
Sweden and Switzerland, places like
Is
that.
It Finland with the Sami people?
Finland. Yeah. That's right. But in the Scandinavian countries, they had sweat lodges and stuff. And everywhere you go, there's sweat lodges. And there's people have fasted. Every culture has a fasting ritual, right? I mean, even Christian or Abrahamic faiths have fasting involved. So like, these are things that all people do. And I don't think it's a coincidence that we all do them, not necessarily to speak to the Christian God or this God, but for us, like for our health, physical, mental, spiritual, all that, you need to do stuff like that. You need to take the time for you to heal from your previous week of shitty work environment, or
whatever it is,
a bad breakup, or just maybe a good breakup, but a relationship loss. You know what I mean? Like it could be a million things, but we all have that, and we all need to take the time to deal with it.
And I think you're absolutely right. It seems to be incorporated into most like faith things, most faiths, right? Some sort of fasting and meditation and prayer. And,
Absolutely.
So, and why not take from those groups what works, right? Like take what works, because there's a lot that works, right?
Absolutely.
There's a reason why lots of people want to have faith, and that they have faith, they work towards it, right? Because it just, I mean, I've seen it. I wish it would change me faster than it is, but I've seen it change other people in really profound ways.
Absolutely.
Faith and even myself, for sure.
Yeah.
Right. Like I think, God, I wish I had better faith all the time, but I think I have better faith than I did, like better faith that it's just going to be okay, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Like I'll be able to accept it. I might not like it. Damn, probably won't like it.
Yeah.
If it's something that's maybe less desirable.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I think that, and I mean, change is hard for anybody. Mm-hmm. But I think for as humans, what we'd like to do is have like one ceremony, and then we're completely changed. But the truth is again, it's those little steps. So you go to 10 sweat lodges, and you're going to be a different person than when you started. Mm-hmm. You suddenly start doing anything that starts talking about respecting yourself or mm-hmm. helping you to heal. And you do that multiple times, you're going to be a different person. Right. Mm-hmm. And so it is the long haul. It's the marathon, not the sprint, but you'll go a few times and then realize like, wow, I didn't react in that situation. Holy shit. Mm-hmm. And it'll be little things like that you start to realize. And then at some point, like you said, like, you're going to just be like, I've been happy for like 4 days in a row now. Like, what the hell? Like, or whatever it is. Like,
what is happening?
Yeah. Like me and my kids are having great conversations all of a sudden. Like whatever it is that's in your life. So I think I think that's the great thing about them is it helps us to build the habit mm-hmm. when we start to see those little results.
Yeah. For sure it does, man. Yeah. And like in some cases, like it started to affect how I see other people, right? Like it started to the meditation, the reading, the listening to speak to different teachers. And yeah, man, it's really cool. Like I was sitting in a anonymous fellowship, probably, I think it was a week ago, maybe a little bit more than a week ago. And there was about 5 dogs that came into the room. And because like, as soon as I started reading this reading that we have in the morning, and I was assigned it, so I started reading. And as soon as I said the word God, 5 dogs ran into that room. And all of a sudden I felt God in that room, right? Wow. It was like, seriously, it was like, for me, it was profound. And for a good portion of the people in the room, they were agitated because the dogs were all like fucking crazy, like dogs can be, right? And don't get me wrong. If I was in a different mood, I might have been agitated too. Sure. So I'm not suggesting that, but it was this one, I just happened to see it as God being in the room. And then as soon as I thought that, I was like, well, how could I be mad?
Yeah.
Right. So then not only were these dogs going batshit crazy to the point where I think 2 owners took their dogs out just to try to create some calm. Yeah. And it seemed to work. So just as it gets calmed down, then the little kids from the school start walking by the windows. Yeah. And they start banging on the window because they're kids, right? Yeah. And so they're banging on the window, and everybody in the room looks over, and a couple of us laugh. I'm sitting right by the window, so I look over and I start making faces at the kids. Well, they lose it, right? So then now I've disrupted the whole meeting. Well, not me personally, these kids did. It was their fault.
Absolutely.
Well, dude, they encouraged me. I don't know why nobody told them.
They should be more mature, those kids.
They should be. Yeah. Yeah. Not me by any means.
No. You're over 40. You're going back to immaturity, right?
Exactly. I'm on my way, man. I'm on the downhill slope now, right? Exactly. Like, the downhill slope, man. But it was, again, the reason I did it was, again, I felt like, oh my God just wants to get in here. Like God needs to be in here. Because I mean, when I see kids, I think the same thing. as I do when I see dogs. I'm like, those are little gods that don't know they're not gods yet, right? Or that don't think they're not gods yet, or whatever.
Yeah.
But the way God reaches out to people, right? Like whatever that means.
Yeah.
But it was just, yeah, it was fascinating, man. But I realized any other day I might have been agitated.
Yeah.
But that day, because I was like breathing in the smiling and breathing out, like basically, you breathe in the good vibes and you breathe out the jive, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Right?
That's a
man.
Very 70s way to say that.
Yeah, man. It was Mr. Burns. It's from The Simpsons. Yeah.
So do you think, like, obviously it was because you're in that headspace that now you're reacting differently, right?
Totally.
Yeah.
I think so. Like, is it going to be all the time? Probably. Well, I can say no. Like, because chances are, like, sometimes I open my app before I think, and when I do that, like, usually it's not the best stuff that comes out. If it's like some sort of,
I can hear you on that one. I feel you.
Yeah. And I mean, again, I wish I was better at it. I wish I was perfect. Like, but I do know that I am better than I was. Like,
totally. Yeah.
Like there seems to be a little bit of a progression as I'm on my downward slope with age. There's a little bit of a progression in terms of like not wanting to purposely fuck with people. Like I really don't.
Yeah.
Like I really don't want that. And so when that instinct comes out of me I'm really, I'm working on it, man.
Well, we all need to work on that a little bit, I'm sure.
For sure. I respect that because we are humans, and man, we have these feelings, and sometimes they just run riot, dude. Yeah.
You ever wonder like how much, like, you were in a headspace where you saw these kids as like, oh, this is funny, and the dogs were awesome, and you took that the way you did. Do you ever wonder though how many times we miss things like that?
Mm-hmm.
Like these maybe beautiful moments or these cool or funny things because we're like so angry at that guy who cut us off, or whatever was on the news article I just read on my phone, or you know what I mean? Like
I could see that, man.
The distraction of phones, but just not in the headspace for that to be a good thing today.
Well, I think you're right, man. I think, and I guess that's probably why we want to practice it, right? Is so that we can see those things when they happen.
I think so.
Because literally, dude, it was making me laugh because I watched the dogs fighting and playing. Well, they were play fighting and just making a bunch of ruckus. Yeah. But I was laughing because like they all kind of looked like they could be little gods. Like literally, like Shiva could have been one of them. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then and I saw Coyote. I was like, oh yeah, that's a trickster, that one. Nice. That little one's a trickster, like going at all the big ones because they can't get her, right? Like, so there was this whole thing was in my head, and of course it seems ludicrous when I say it out loud, but that's what I saw. I was just sitting there watching these gods play, man, and I'm thinking, obviously, I need to take myself less seriously more often. Right?
Or get a dog.
Well, that's been on my mind a lot, man.
Really?
A lot. Oh yeah. But I can't do it to Floyd, man.
No, I was gonna say I don't think Floyd would like that so much.
No, he's my sweetie. I don't think he wants any other company, right? So I'm not gonna do it to him.
Floyd doesn't strike me that he's into threesomes.
Well, he used to
sharing your affection with another.
He used to like to watch. I'm not gonna lie. He used to like to watch. He probably still does, but I wouldn't know.
Not that kind.
Yeah. No, but I don't think he wants company, man.
I wouldn't imagine.
He's pretty happy these days when I come in, he like rolls at my feet. Like
nice.
He's pretty stoked.
Right on.
I'm pretty happy to have the time with him too. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think that's another thing that I've noticed too with, especially with meditation or, taking those 1 minute times is like, I noticed that even, you can have a bad day at work, but you take that, even if you take the drive home just to focus on breathing nice and slow and deep.
Yeah.
By the time you get home, now you're interacting with your family differently, or whoever you're living with, or whoever's at home, even your animal.
Yeah.
If you come home angry, your dog knows, your cat knows. You start throwing shit and stomping around. They're like, yeah, I'm going to go hide under the bed. Thanks.
I did, man. I came in all grouchy this afternoon, man. But then Floyd like rolled down at my feet. So I was like, oh man, how can you stay mad when that thing's happening? Doing the belly roll in front of you. Like,
yeah, exactly.
I couldn't even stay agitated, man. I was like, oh man, whatever. Moving on.
Yeah. Right? They're awesome. I mean, I love having, our dog, but yeah, man, it's
sweet little Norton.
What's that?
How sweet little Norton.
He's good. We had some people over today, I guess, during the day, and they had brought their dogs. So he's like wore out.
Oh yeah.
Like, I'm done.
What kind of dogs?
Just little dogs. I can't remember what they were. A couple little months. They were, 15 pounds kind of thing. Kind of like
cute. Were they cute?
What's that?
Were they cute?
I didn't actually see them, but I'm guessing that they probably were. So
yeah, doggos are cute, man. How could they not be?
Well, especially like, little dogs. I mean, unless they're chewing on your foot, but
yeah. Oh man, there was this really beautiful big dog that would come to the group. They don't allow dogs anymore after last week. After that week, yeah, there's no more dogs allowed in that place, which is fair. Like whatever, like
yeah.
But I just wish that I don't know. I wish that it was okay to bring them everywhere. Right. Like I wish that was the case because they just make people happy, like they make people feel good. I get to see this dog when I go to this place. I get to see a dog there every weekday morning and she just like, dude, makes a huge difference in my day, man. Like it makes a huge difference for me. Well, I don't have a dog, right? I have a cat that bites me as I'm leaving the house. So really what I need is love and I go for a dog.
Yeah, right? Definitely. If you just want pure love, that's what a dog does.
But yeah, I think that's a part of it too, right? Like compassionate care for yourself. And but again, I think that's also a result of the practicing, right?
Absolutely.
You start to love yourself and you don't want to cause yourself pain.
Yeah.
You actually want to be like, I don't know, healthy-ish.
Yeah. Happy.
Happy.
Actually find a reason to smile throughout the day.
I know, man. It's far out.
It is, man, but you gotta put effort to it. Just like you gotta put effort to go into the gym or do anything else, right?
Yep. Everything else has to be done like one thing at a time, man.
One thing I will say that I find really funny though is the more I meditate, I don't know if I'm sure you're the same way, but how much faster you can just get into that meditative state.
Mm-hmm.
Like I find even with these 1 minute ones, if I close my eyes and start, like I'm deep in when he's going, okay, thanks, or whatever, or the TikTok ends.
Yeah.
So it's kind of funny. Like the more you practice, the easier it becomes to get there.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure, man. Like you just you go right to breath and things just start to slowly change, right? So
absolutely.
Yeah, man. I wish I could do it all the time.
I know.
I wish my brain worked like that, where it would just be automatic now because it knows it works. That would be sweet. Yeah.
So do you ever, like, one of the places that one of the things I love meditating when I meditate is around a campfire. Like I'll just sit in the chair, close my eyes and just meditate for 5-10 minutes or something.
I've done it, but like I've definitely the last few campfires, I think I got into like a meditative state for sure.
Do you have like a specific, let's say a natural, like a nature place or something like by the river or something that you like to meditate most? Or
I do, yeah. I have a couple, man. There's along the Bow, right down. One's across from Princess Island Park.
Yeah,
and then the other one is like one of them is right on Princess Island Park.
Nice.
How about you?
Well, I love anywhere in nature where I can't hear cars and shit like that.
Yeah.
I found this really cool little place out in Kananask. It's just right off the highway, but if you go up the little trail, maybe 5 minutes, you can't even hear the highway.
Oh, nice.
And it's just, there's this little babbling brook beside you. It's all like moss and stuff. So you just
wow,
you can just like sit down and it's just peaceful. But one of the best meditations I ever did was actually out at Lake Minnewanka out by Banff.
Okay. Yeah.
It was in the spring and there was the tourist groups and stuff. And, and I just kind of went down the cliff and kind of along over here, like away from them. just got out on a rock, and it was a nice sunny day, and I just sat on those rocks, and holy shit, I bet you it was a half an hour.
Yeah.
And it just felt like 3 minutes.
Yeah.
But
that's
when I finished
man.
that, like I remember this was probably 5 years ago, and I still remember that meditation.
Wow.
Because I walked away, I was just like, wow, like I felt great. I was like, I don't even know what I was stressed out about. Like it was
that's awesome.
Wonderful.
Man. That's awesome.
So I love going out there to do it. But
yeah. Right on. Yeah. And I like there's a place up in Cam where I like to go to as well. When I'm up there, it's like right on the river by the old train bridge. It's not a train bridge anymore. Now it's a walking bridge.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right over there. There's a bench right along the river. If you go down the path, not the walking one that's paved, but you go down along the river, the little dirt path. If you follow that, there's a bench down there. Yeah. It's really nice, man. Right. Really quiet. Yeah.
I find that for me, it's the nature. I got to be like around trees, like even in my yard. Like I love this big tree in my backyard because it just every time I go out there at night, especially, I can just stare at it and like it just is. It's like meditative, just staring at it. But yeah, I love being around nature.
Yeah, so. Me too. And you know what? Sometimes when I'm down along the river here in town, like I don't even hear the cars, man. Once you just start, meditating, it's kind of and breathing, just hear the river, right? And if anything, at times, like it's pretty nice. Although I have to be honest, if I black out down there, somebody might rob me while I'm sleeping on the bench. But
well, don't do that for anybody.
I won't do that. I haven't fallen asleep yet out there. I definitely fall asleep at home while I meditate for sure.
Yeah. Sometimes
there are times where I'm just like, oh, I want to meditate. Oh no, I'm just really sleepy. And and the next thing you know, it's been an hour goes by.
I did this one. I was on Insight Timer and I was doing this like guided meditation, and they're like, lay down on your bed or whatever's comfortable. And I thought, I've never laid down and meditated. So no, it's like 3 minutes and I was out.
You were done.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's
so I was
fair.
like, no, I can't lay down anymore. At least not on the bed.
Well, and I mean, literally, if you need rest, though, rest is okay.
That's true. I mean, it was a great sleep, but I was just like, not quite the meditation I wanted, but
for sure. That's fair. So I don't know, man. I guess that's enough about meditation. Hey,
yeah, probably.
But you know what? In people who are listening, if you're interested, just check out our YouTube channel. Like Darcy mentioned right off the hop. It's Freedom's Path Recovery Society on YouTube, and our podcast, Voices in Recovery. This podcast
right here,
is on iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts,
and about 55 other ones.
And whatever the other 55 are, unaware. But YouTube channel is again Freedom's Path Recovery Society. That's Darcy. I'm David. That's Darcy. I'm David. Just in case you're wondering. And hopefully you're all I don't know, doing okay out there. I know things are starting to get back to normal, but there's it still is lots of uncertainty out there, man, because, the world is still feeling like it's going to hell in a handbasket, right?
Absolutely.
But anyway, take care of each other, take care of yourselves. And Darcy, I love you.
Love you, man.
And take care of your family. Say hi for me, please.
Absolutely. And you as well. Say hi to your mom.
I will. I'll say hi to everybody. And I cannot believe how tall your daughter is, man. Like, is she 1.5 feet or 2 feet taller than Michelle?
It feels like 2 feet.
Yeah, it looked like 2 feet.
She reminds me every minute of the day.
Because that means she's 3 feet taller than you, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Dude, I couldn't believe it. I was like, wow, man, that was awesome. But their ribbon dresses look awesome.
Yeah. No, she's really been sewing and stuff a lot lately too. Yeah. So it's been really cool.
That's really cool, man. I'm glad to hear that. Excellent.
Right on, man.
Right on, brother. You take care of yourself, man.